Hey guys, LOOKIN, I'm back in another video, and today we'll be doing our weekly ramblings of a WWE fan. I feel as though we've been going strong for 2025 with these ramblings. You know, nothing else has gotten in the way of my ramblings, but I can see that stopping in the near future just because it's so much going on. Now, kind of piggybacking off of last week, we're gonna piggyback off of it because what all inspired this was my conversations with my brothers, because they could swear to me so many things and they act like they know everything about wrestling. You know, they act like they know everything, but they have really made an intriguing point about how the Bloodline storyline and how the creativeness of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together kind of doesn't touch the rest of the WWE. When it comes to how they are booked, you see how the treatment of heels throughout the company recently, they've kind of lost in a way where it's like, oh, there's no there's recoverment, but it's just not the same feeling anymore. There's not the same good batch of heels. There is a lack of heels, and there is a lack of proper treatment of those heels, except when you talk about the Bloodline. The Bloodline has the best kind of version of a heel, and it feels so raw. And that right there, like, what's going to happen when it's time for the Bloodline storyline to end? And who's to say the Bloodline story is going to end? That's another thing. How will the Bloodline story, how will the Bloodline story evolve over time? Or is it still going to be the top storyline? Because if we're going to be honest, what the company is looking for is what sells tickets, and the Bloodline sells tickets. But what also sells tickets is good feuds, good heels. I think what really was important about the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk storyline is because Drew McIntyre was able to be a hater and just a heel. He was able to be a heel, and you believed him. And there was like less of, even when he didn't really, or you knew like in the matches it wasn't gonna be on him. There's so many moments where Drew McIntyre had the overhand over Punk. Like, he beat the mess out of Punk. He injured Punk. He got over on him. And there was nothing in between the fillers. Like, I think the biggest comparison with the Liv and Rhea storyline is there are so many other things and you missed the plot. When it came to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, although CM Punk was not able to compete because he was injured just like Rhea, there was still stuff going on in that. There was still things that kept, the plot was not missed. There weren't anything where you lost the plot because Drew McIntyre would be obsessed and CM Punk would always be the one to rub it in his face. Like, the act of a heel that Drew McIntyre did is so different from any other heel recently, apart from the Bloodline, because nobody else has been able to captivate the crowd as much. And with the treatment of heels right now, you're not getting no heels. You're not getting no heels, really. You see Gunther. Gunther was doing his heel work, but then you went through this character development where he felt insecure. And in that insecurity, he got over it, but you just didn't see him go back to the dominant Gunther, the heel like Gunther that really commanded respect and, I feel as though it had more of the aura of a ring general than right now. When he gets in that ring, that's a different story, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know that Imperium, all of that, the IC Championship Gunther is a different story. It's a different story, and maybe it just has to do with how they're booking the champions. I don't know. But the lack of heels is just causing things just to feel off. Like, there's something missing. There's something missing, because I do think that at the end of the day, good side has to win eventually. That right there makes sense. Of course, the good side has to win eventually, but when it comes to a lot of the storylines and how things progress, it's like so obvious. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And we only have something that's different. You kind of don't know what's going to happen with the Bloodline story. I think that's what really is what makes things like, okay, you know what, at least we have the Bloodline story. I kind of don't like the rest of the stuff that just occurred here. Let's wait till the match. But you know what, the Bloodline story, everything about it kind of connects. It connects. So when people talk about whether or not it's a good thing to have the Bloodline as showcased as they are, because it is true that due to the fact of the Bloodline being so hot, there are certain superstars that aren't able to get on top on a different level just because they're running it. So, you know, Chad Gable, perfect example. Chad Gable had a chance to be the IC champion, but I just don't think, because what the Bloodline did for Sami Zayn and that whole thing, so many people are so connected with Sami Zayn. It's like, dang good. It's like, not the whole crowd of everybody was not that upset that Chad was not able to get it. They took their L, but then they saw Sami, so it's good again. It's good again. Like, hey, it's Sami Zayn. He had the whole Rocky thing going. We was in Philadelphia, everything. It worked out. But you see, Chad now, he's in a place where it's weird. And I think to get out that place, he could have he could have he didn't have to win the Wyatt 6-1, but he could have made it to where his heel credibility was still elevated. They could have had him with Otis, and then his heel, like, we would actually care more about American Made. They lost some steam with that. They did. And you see certain other superstars, like, we're gonna call it a buck. I know y'all might get mad at me, but had it not been for the Bloodline story, Cody Rhodes wouldn't be kind of untouchable as he is now. He's kind of untouchable, so there's not too many openings for another WWE champion until we kind of reach this point where what he got wrapped up with The Rock, or what he has wrapped up with Roman, or maybe even Randy. But that's always in the distance, because it felt as though they were waiting for Roman to come back. So it seems as though the Bloodline storyline has a hold on what happens with the WWE Championship. So that means that there's certain superstars like Gunther that may not have the opportunity currently to have the title like that. That is just, I think that that's just all of time and a place for everything. I think Gunther's going to be WWE champion, but I think that's time and a place. That's not the same sentiments that I've heard. That's not. A lot of people just think that the Bloodline is able to get in and do whatever they want, but it's all about what sells tickets and what really does things for the whole company itself. Now, same thing with the titles. I'm lost about that. I don't know. There's somebody in my comments, Black Star Turns Heel, made up a good point about how there's something up with certain title reigns, like Bayley, Cody's, and Gunther. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think it's the fact that there's no good heels and the unpredictability. There's no good heels. When it came to Bayley, they wanted a moment, but I don't know if they planned it through. Same thing with Cody. Now with Gunther, they wanted to go through some character development with him, but I think they're at a point where they're kind of fine with how things are going with Gunther. They don't necessarily need to have him be full heel, but then there's also nobody else Gunther can fight as well. That is something that we have to talk about. On Raw, there's not many people that's on that main event level, because they talk about Brandon Logan Paul for Gunther, and that right there don't make sense to me. I'm sorry, Gunther. I'm sorry, Gunther. But you have Bayley. I really just think they didn't have a plan for that. And I ain't gonna lie, it ended up to be pretty good for Nia because Nia deserved to have a championship run, and it was pretty good. We had some good matches out of that. Cody Rhodes, I don't know if they planned that through. They didn't plan that through because I don't know if they didn't plan it through or they just didn't have maybe enough time, and certain things probably just kind of held off on certain things going on just because of life. I ain't gonna front. I need some unpredictability back into WWE. I need some fun and unpredictability because they dropped that mixed match, you know, the playlist for that. I miss the mixed match talents because it was fun. If we not gonna get some, like, the fun brought storylines, in my opinion. I feel as though you kind of lacking the fun. You do less of storylines, because even the stupid storylines are fun and they're entertaining. Because when we get in the ring, we got some good wrestling. That's just how I feel. And Saturday Night Main Event, I think it was, I don't know if it was the best idea to have it so close to Rumble, because now it seems like we get grasping at straws. We're kind of grasping at straws. Now, the Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman match, I can get that anytime. It don't matter to me. Sheamus and Braun Breaker, cool. I honestly don't know why they just had Braun Breaker just stay in the back stage area as champion. That I don't know. That didn't do anything for me. I'm sorry, it didn't. Like, if we were gonna do that, if the belt was gonna be actively defended, why not have Jay hold on to it for a little while if he's not getting put back into a bloodline storyline? Like, he's looking for bigger and better things, so I'm gonna let Jay do whatever Jay gonna want to do. That right there is gonna be good as well. But as I said, the Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax thing, I felt like it was put together just because you knew it was gonna be a great match. Maybe it is just a lot of people say it's a glorified house show. Maybe it is just a house show type of feeling. And certain things can happen. I do think that there is a possibility that Sheamus gets the title. So when it comes to the matchups, Sheamus versus Braun, I want Sheamus to win. Give that man that IC championship, please. Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's going to win. She just got that title back. She's not losing it for a very long time. Whoever she meet in that Rumble, I'm sorry to tell you, she is taking that title home after that night. Actually, depending on who it is, she might not. I ain't even going to do that to whoever competitor is. Because it could be Bianca or Naomi. So, you know what? They taking it home. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. It's the Samoan Werewolf. The Samoan Werewolf is winning. Because I feel as though there's going to be a storyline with him that unfolds. And maybe there's a power struggle. Because now at least Solo and him, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with those two. I don't know what's going on with those two at all. Jay versus Gunther. I'm going to say Jay just because, you know what? I'm going to put my hopes in Jay. I'm going to put some hopes in Jay. Jay. Good luck, Jay. Good luck. I honestly do believe Jay Uso can become world champion, though. Period. Not even trying to be funny. He can. He sell them tickets. He make them money. So why not? The contract signing, I'm just here for Shawn Michaels. I'm here for Shawn Michaels and a little bit of Kevin's Delulu. I don't know. I'm wondering when Randy returns, though. I'm really wondering when Randy returns. It does not seem like we're gonna get a Randy versus Cody Rhodes. Simply because of the fact that unless certain things unfold, because you know when it comes to the road to WrestleMania, things could switch up in a second. At the moment, I would see Randy going after Kevin Owens. And when it comes to some of these storylines, they kind of take their time. And I think it might just take their time. The overall feeling about WrestleMania is fear. Because I don't know what's going to go on at all. I also was hearing about the ticket prices. I feel bad. I was not going to go to WrestleMania anyway because in Las Vegas. But nosebleed seats for $1,000, child, you better off going to Wale Mania and then going to a bar or something, go to whatever sports bar or something and watch it with there. Or go to your hotel or Airbnb, get your friends together and watch it there. If it's gonna be $1,000, you might as well spend your $1,000 on something else. For some, like, I understand the experience, because like the feeling of a live crowd is different, but I don't know, man. I don't know. So that ring, it's not that big. It's not that big. If you're gonna be looking at the Jumbotron all night, I'm gonna go home. I'm just gonna go home and have my good time there. Get some friends so you get the same energy going on and call it a night. You call it a night. But when it comes to this wrestling stuff, I see that there's a lot of just hateration. Not hating, but you just wanting your favorite. You wanting the person that you've been rooting for to get to the top of the mountain. And honestly, if I was somebody that was not cool, or I didn't find so much enjoyment as I do with the Bloodline storyline, I would be upset too. But I think another thing we have to think about is the fact that they have all worked mad hard to get where they are at. Like, they all have. So when I see another person that says, I think it's more of that probably fires up everybody in the back as well to give their A game and to come to the point where they have to acknowledge you and give you your dues. And that's what Drew McIntyre is doing. That's exactly what Drew McIntyre is doing. I think that we kind of, I don't know if people are overlooking that. But if you get enough traction, it don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get in those main event scenes, and possibly you can win that WWE Championship. It's not only for the Bloodline or just for Cody Rhodes, the top 1% of the wrestlers that get the most popularity. I think that what makes sense too has a part to play in it as well. Like, I really want Kevin Owens to win against Cody Rhodes just because it'll make the story interesting. It'll make the story interesting, but I do not think the belt is on reserve at all. I just think that there's certain things in place that they probably want to do while Cody Rhodes is champion, and I don't think there's anything, there's nothing in me that's telling me that Roman Reigns is getting that title anytime soon. So people with the same mindset of like what I talked about in the beginning of the video, kind of similar to how my brothers was feeling, because this ain't my words. This ain't my words. This is my brother's words. They honestly think that the without the Bloodline storyline, if they keep doing what they're doing, business is gonna go bad. Now, business might not go bad, but I do think there's gonna be a little bit of a difference just because they are the money makers. You can check the stats that they do be making money, but I think that there is a very delicate point that they're at right now due to the pivot that they made last year. So they're just trying to take things how they come, but also make everything make sense as well. I've been enjoying wrestling. I think all you can do is just enjoy wrestling. Enjoy wrestling. Enjoy the people that be putting their bodies on the line when it's good. When it's good and they're not racist. Because when they're racist, there's nothing you can really enjoy. Like, how can you enjoy it if they're racist? But my girl Jordan Grace, I'm wondering where she's gonna be on. Is she gonna be on the main roster, or is she gonna be at NXT? Either way, I know I'm seeing her at the Rumble. So they need to let me know if Naomi gonna be heel or not. Because if Naomi gonna be heel and she at the Rumble, I think Naomi might put her hands. Because I know that they're gonna have a feud. I just hope it's not any of Jordan's beginning feuds, because I know what's gonna happen then. But I'm probably gonna be making a vlog for you guys next week when I meet Naomi, because surprise, I'm meeting Naomi. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I don't know, but I'm probably going to film a TikTok as well. I'm still kind of thinking whether or not I should make her one of those bracelets, or what to bring her if I'm going to do that. So if y'all got any ideas, y'all let me know. But let me know how you guys feel about some of the topics I touched on this week. Are y'all excited for Saturday night main event? I'm a little bit more excited this week, this Saturday night main event. I ain't gonna front. I'm more excited. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.